Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pleasure Pulse. I'm your host, Roma Richardson, and as usual, I'm so happy to have you here with me for another conversation on sex and something. As we normally do, I like to take a short break at the start just so people can let everybody know Pleasure Pulse is live. Go get your popcorn, share the live, all them things. We take a short break, come back, and get into tonight's long conversation. Sorry. Let's take a short break.
The holiday shopping season is here, and ZAZ Broadcasting Corporation wants to help your business shine. With the holiday sales driver, you get the power of radio, television, and social media, all working together to drive customers straight to your door. Book your campaign today and reach thousands of shoppers across St. Kitts and Nevis. Sign up for 3 weeks or more and get a free live on-air feature. Call 465-2621 and ask for our ZIZ sales team. With ZIZ Radio, ZIZ Television, and Big Wave, your holiday sales success starts here.
Good evening and welcome back to Pleasure Pulse. You're tuned in to ZIZ 96.1 FM on radio and on YouTube for sure. And you can also watch the show on ZIZ's website. You can see what's streaming live there as well if you're somebody who likes to go on websites to find things, or if you were searching for other things and you stumble across us, hey, welcome. We are here for another conversation. I have my guest here, and my guest, I don't know them. Yeah, my guest is, what should I call you? Repeat. I was going to say that I was, that's what, and I stopped myself because I was like,
I guess I'm a familiar face.
Familiar face, I like that.
Yeah, just to introduce myself, my name is Deloma, and I'm just going to be a part of the conversation tonight, which is
Long distance relationships and sex, which is why I said we're going to have a long conversation, but the joke didn't quite land, which happens sometimes, especially in long distance relationships.
you said what the topic was first.
No, like, because we were getting into it. But this is my segue, right? Like, sometimes the jokes don't land when you're in long distance relationships because some jokes require you to be there in person so you can pick up the body language. You could pick up sometimes even the tone better in person. You know, anyways, how did that land?
Well,
Not quite.
I kind of got that you were hinting towards it, but I didn't quite take that.
Yeah, it's okay. I have another try. Anyway, so tonight we're talking about sex and long distance relationships. And one of the things that I thought about in coming to this conversation was something that we hear often. And so my guiding question is, does absence make the heart go fonder? How was that? Go ahead, let's start. Yes, let's be serious.
Okay. I think something like that would depend on the person because, I mean, I know people who can make it work. I know people who, like me, have not been so successful in long distance relationships, but some people actually do manage it. So
Yeah. I'm not sure if absence makes the heart grow fonder for everybody. For some people, hi, welcome back, I think. So we're talking about whether or not absence makes the heart grow fonder. And you shared some initial thoughts that I maybe will ask you to share again for maybe those who may not have heard it.
I think I said for some people, I know they're able to make long distance relationship work, and then in some cases, like me,
Yeah.
we're not so successful. But that doesn't mean I'm not open
Right.
to it, you know. So
Yeah.
it just depends.
Yeah, and I think it's not an indictment on the persons, right? Like some people just prefer work better, see more success in certain kinds of relationships, and sometimes you only know what will happen when you try the thing, right? I was also sharing that I think for some people absence could make the heart go fonder. For other people, it might not. I think for other people it could be very out of sight, out of mind. Like
Right.
if you were right there in front of me, I kind of forget that maybe even this thing is happening. You forget that that there's somebody that maybe expects you to check in. So sometimes I find people have issues like that, right? Like differences in terms of what they expect from communication and frequency. Some people, okay, with messaging you all day while you're at work. Other people prefer to check in at night or maybe just in the morning, which are also things that happen in relationships where they are close to each other, right? So that ain't necessarily unique to long distance. But you said that you think some of them can work. You have not had so much. I didn't want it to sound like that. Like, okay, some people have successful long distance relationships. Some people have.
I can speak to my close friend. So they're in a relationship with someone who they have never even met. So it's their entire relationship
Has been
and
long.
yes, that person is really it's not a catfish or anything like that. It has been entirely virtual. But it's more so, you know, a situation where that person lives in a country where you would have to get, you know, all the
It's a lot of things to travel there, yeah.
So, but they have maintained a long distance relationship for years, and it's to a point now. Like I actually call their partner my best friend, so they're integrated.
Yeah.
So we are all virtually connected. So I think like with technology
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
it is possible. I don't really know to the extent like what all they try to do, but I mean for the most part it has worked for them. So.
Yeah, I love how you brought in technology because especially like things like WhatsApp. You know, in my day we used to use Skype and MSN Messenger, which allowed you to like instant message people online. Main thing, MSN Messenger had video calls. Main thing. So
Yeah,
did they after a while? Okay, I remember using Skype to call the person who was my friend at the time, who is now actually my partner. So we had our Skype, Skype days, and we are still, well, we weren't long distance because we weren't together, but now we are long, I like to call it short distance because we really just over there, right?
Across the water.
Yeah, but technology has created so much more opportunity for people to meet people who ain't where they are physically and form relationships with them. So I think if it's something you're open to and you like are truly open to it and committed to it, you can be just as happy in long distance relationships as in non long distance relationships. So would you say a yes or no to long distance?
Like for me personally, it's something I'm open to, but as I said, I've just never been lucky in that department. And I think to make a long distance relationship work, like communication has to be strong. And I'll admit my communication is not the best because like if I probably am dealing with something personal, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, pick up the phone, message this person. So maybe it may be easier for me to have somebody who, if they can't get me by the phone, they'll come and knock on my door and check in, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so for you it's a perhaps.
Perhaps.
Okay, I've been in a few long distance relationships. I don't know why it is. live my own life. So it'll just be like, even relationships that may have started in, because I have had relationships. I think this is my first long distance relationship where we have never lived in the same place. But I have had long distance relationships before where we start out in the same place and then I gone. Sorry, it's usually what it happens. So either, where I gone back to school or moved for a job or wherever it is. So quite a few of my relationships have ended up being long distance. I think like we kind of had conversations about it, like the transition, but I believe in my youthful head, maybe naive head, this was not good. Oh, the other day, this is just by the way, I was watching this, listening to this podcast, and they were talking about some of the predictors of relationship success, or like relationships that are likely to fail, and they were like, once you're under 25, I think a lot of those relationships will probably fail because, one, your brain ain't fully developed, you're going through all kind of life transitions and certain things and so on. When I heard that, I was like, that was the reason. It's true, not me. Anyways, so I think in my youthful brain, I never really was like, hey, let's sit down and talk about what this shift might mean, whether you're okay with this shift. I kind of just like, but if we're in a relationship now, why should that change anything? But it really does change things, especially if partners aren't on the same page. Because I somebody who, not that out of sight, out of mind, but that is part of it. But also, I'm okay with being by myself. For me, physical intimacy is really like out of sight, out of mind. If men doing it, I don't remember that it exists. And yeah, but especially if you're moving to do something, you already have something like occupying your time. You're already in the mind of like building, creating other communities, and so as opposed to, let's say you moving away to start over, so you ain't really sure like where you're going, what is happening for you next, right? So I definitely should have maybe had some conversations, and right now, my partner and I, we talk about whether we will eventually, hopefully, be non long distance. But then herein comes well, where do we live? Because should I go there? Is he gonna come?
Where the money resides.
Oh, that's true. That is a real possibility. Like, because somebody's going to have to change their life, right? So, for me, it has been I'm okay with long distance. Yeah, once the other person, which is something that I've come to really realize and appreciate, that the other person also has to be on the same page. 'Cause everybody ain't me, You're going to say something.
I was thinking because like I have been watching a lot of TikToks and all these things, and like the truckers' wives. So like if you have a spouse who is not, I don't know if it would fall in the context of long distance relationship, but they have to be on the road for work a lot. Or would you consider that as a long distance relationship?
That's a good question. I think, I mean, it can depend, right? Like, because some long distance relationships, I think the marker is usually like you have separate places of residence. So do you live in separate places normally? Or is it that you live in the same place but you're just gone for a month, but then you come back to that same place? It could end up being that people in relationships like that, because you also have people who aren't truckers but they travel a lot for work, so sometimes their partner sees them less than they do see them, right? So not necessarily long distance, but it's kind of in number of days might work out to be similar to a long distance relationship. So, but that's an interesting phenomenon. And I think
I'm
just
curious.
Yeah.
You know, you seem to have been in this relationship for a while.
Yeah.
What would you say could help?
Oh, look at you. Let me go ahead. I've never been interviewed on.
No, but I'm just asking,
Yeah.
like, to help us.
Yeah, I feel
If we find
Okay.
ourselves in another situation, how can we make a long distance relationship work?
Everybody and everybody's relationship is different. But when I was doing some research for tonight's conversation, some of the things that I found are key or helpful to making long distance relationship work. Some of them are, same as in other relationships, just maybe more intentional, maybe require more effort because you just ain't got the benefit of physical proximity. So communication, there's lots of communication involved, a lot, because one, whereas if you lived with somebody, if you and somebody lived in the same space, you could just like go to their job, show up at their house or at their work and be like, hey, I'm here. You can't do that in a long distance relationship. So if men hear from you for the whole day, very unlikely that you're on a plane coming here on a Tuesday. Some people can do that, but it's very unlikely. So it is, I think, a lot more noticeable when there's silence. So communication is something that like really matters.
So y'all check in a lot.
Yeah, and like,
Be like,
good
"Hey,
morning.
I hear from you.
You like,
Okay.
well, one thing is, I think you could, because they ain't seeing your daily life, there's more that you might do to let them know, like actually verbalize your daily life. So it'd be like, look, these dishes that I had to wash. Like I have been like, I wish you were here to wash the dishes. And the small things like that, right? That you don't, like I wish you were here.
So you're
I just,
basically snapping your day.
I just cooked this thing and I wish that you would have liked it. I wish you were here to taste it. Or he would like order me food from 869 to go, which a partner in same case could do. Or like we talk about technology, right? Like all of the things that are available to us, a partner here might do, but it'd be different. Like a partner here might actually go to the place and bring the food themselves. No, it's like you rely on a lot of other people to be part of that. So I think communication has to be a lot more intentional also, because like in relationships where you're close together, let's say you have a conflict, right? You could be like, we'll talk about this later in person. When you're in, as in, right? Okay. Like whether you say, come over by me later, or we're gonna meet up later, we're gonna trash it out, whatever. That ain't an option in a lot of long distance relationships. So it's like you had to find a way to navigate conflicts that is outside of just being able to hug it out. Because sometimes you just be like, sometimes you just rest your head on somebody's lap to let them know I'm over whatever happened today, but that ain't an option for you. So you have to bring yourself to, like somebody say, it or do it in some other way.
What came to my mind when you said that is that, okay, we might hug it out, but you could be masking or just kind of sweeping things under the rug. But because you guys have to talk things out, it might be an advantage for you guys in that you guys really get to thrash out whatever issues or conflict you guys may have.
And you can't just have like, you can't just... That is true, and one of the benefits, that some of the research I found identified for long distance relationships was like more intentional communication, more honest communication, more vulnerable communication. And they found that even in like the earlier stages, like whereas a physically close relationship has the benefit of like physical intimacy, all them kind of other things in person that you use. Like you really, is your words that build long distance relationship. That is what you use to build trust, because whereas here, if somebody tell you something like whatever it be and you doubt it, you could go drive there, you could follow behind them and catch them in a lie. Even if the person in antique, I didn't mean to say that, but even in the person, everybody knows what. So it cannot mean it's not a secret. I know, but even if your person, like if you're in a long distance relationship and somebody, even if the location is on, and you're like suspicious about where they are, you can't do nothing about it. You just have to be like, I'm suspicious, but all right. I just have to, and like there's no way for you to physically like find things out. Not to go to cheating and so, but that is one of the things, like building trust, that really relies on communication for long distance relationships. Because what do you do to build trust with people normally?
Well, I think over time, as you get to know the person, and really, I think trust comes with communication and, I don't know, the reassurance that they might provide you when you see that their actions align with what they're saying and doing, and the consistency as well. So yeah, I could see how that builds trust.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when that's not, I feel like there are some physical signs of reassurance that you can get, that, for example, somebody saying they are where they are. Like, that's something that can be verified, but you can't really verify that if you're not there and you don't have anybody there to go creeping for you.
This is how I think of it, because whether you're there, let's say you and them both live, in the same country, in the same island, they could say they're somewhere, and then they may not be there, but are you really going to get up and join? I mean, some people do that, but I mean,
it happens.
I think over time, okay, so like, let me give an example. While I was dating someone who lived in Nevis.
I've been there too.
So,
go ahead.
We've all been to the
something about the Nevis guys.
So, he worked really strange hours. So
at Four Seasons. Sorry, no, go ahead.
No, not Four Seasons, please. But he would send me his schedule, and then we would kind of see how we could schedule our video calls based on his schedule. And I actually like the fact that he sent me the schedules, because I kind of get to track him to be like, okay, so if he ain't answering,
like things like that,
and then
like you ain't supposed to be working this time, but when I try to your phone off, I can't, but go ahead.
And you could kind of, so I think little gestures like that, because I'm sure, let's see, if I lived in Nevis, and of course I would have a more regulated work schedule. He has, the shifts. He might not feel the need to send me a schedule.
Exactly.
So then I'm left to figure out my work.
Exactly. And I also like that you brought up Nevis, because Nevis just crossed there.
Right.
But it is also short distance, but kind of long distance, because you still don't, like, for example, I mean, now you have like the speedboats over the peninsula, but if it's like 1 a.m., midnight, 11 o'clock, and you feel like seeing the person, it's a lot more involved to see the person. They what?
And money.
And money. So that's another like, well, when we should the pros and cons
Right.
of well, we could just
Yeah, right.
get into everything. That's one of the cons of long distance relationships,
the
even
money involved.
along with the benefits of like increased communication, better communication, deeper communication, all them things. It costs a lot, even if your partner just live in Nevis, because if you was in St. Kitts, you had to catch bus, it'd cost you $4, it'd cost you $5. If you were driving, it would have just been gas money, but
Right.
boat money,
Yeah.
you had to go and come back.
And even though like the peninsula has, more around the clock boats available, it's still at a higher cost.
Yeah.
And it's still a good distance. You can't say, oh, let me just catch a bus
Yeah.
and go to the ferry terminal. No, you have to go to the peninsula. So if you don't have a car,
Uber,
or
taxi, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
So
pretty pricey.
yeah, so you do have to be very intentional about when you see the person. So whether that means, well, if you could afford to go up every weekend, or you say, okay, I'm gonna come up once a month. So that's like 20 something other days in a month that you're not seeing the person. If you want a hug, if
Right.
you're having a really hard day and you want a hug, for that to happen, it's more than just the person walking to where you are or driving to where
Or
you
you
are.
might have
So
to schedule like when he has an off
yeah,
day.
or something. Or like, and you're also limited with time because you don't live in the same space. We have 2 days together, or we have a few hours together,
Right.
and we had to make the best use of this. And that could also be a lot of pressure because things happen, right? Like you go up there with this itinerary and you have an argument, or something else happens, and there you go.
The entire
Your thing that you've been planning for weeks, days, months, whatever. So there are those like financial and time costs associated with long distance relationship, and I can tell you, it costs.
What is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Yeah. Because when you see the person,
Everything just goes
I'm
out.
not going to act like it is something and roses. I can't remember the saying.
All bed and roses.
Yeah,
All bed of
no. Anyway, because like I have been in situations where when we come together and meet, we still got through other things like other couples. Like, ain't nothing like our conflicts are reserved for when we are apart. Like conflicts also happen when we're together. So then it's like, I got one more day with you, and the day before is when we choose to have this big, like whatever it is, or even a small thing. And I know, like in our relationship, we have had to be like, especially because it used to happen like on the night before we are to part, and then the sleep is because you don't have the 2 days that you need to work through the conflict anymore. So we used to just be like,
Days.
it takes me a while. It takes me a while. I've cut down on my recovery time, but it takes me a while. But we've had to be like, we're going to have to do something about this, because then the next day you agree back, but the whole night was spent
Arguing.
not even arguing, just hurt, just separate, no cuddling, like nothing. So like we have had to be like, we're gonna have to find a way for this not to happen.
We are making it work, right?
Yeah, for the most part. And other couples make it work too. So like one statistic that I saw was that 60% of long distance relationships are successful in the long run. Obviously, this ain't St. Kitts statistics. These are probably U.S. statistics, and they are comparable with non-long distance relationships. And I think people generally think that once you're in a long distance relationship, it's doomed to fail, and like they can't succeed.
I think doing like a study on long distance relationship would be interesting for the Caribbean, because I think maybe a lot more people are in long distance
Yes.
relationships than we may actually realize, because like especially, like I'm just considering our demographic, like maybe people who go abroad and study, get degrees. Realistically speaking, most of them won't be able to find jobs here in the Caribbean. So they may go abroad, or, may have to work between spaces.
Yeah.
And I think, we may have a lot of long distance relationship that we actually realize.
That is absolutely one of the things that also came out in my research. And as you talk to, not just even the going abroad, because I know like couple Yui love stories, right? Like somebody come from this island and somebody is from this island, they meet at Yui, they fall in love. What happens next? Some of them go back home, right? Cause so many of us are bonded. Like if we get economic class, we bonded by our country, so we go back home. Some of those relationships remain, some of them don't. You even have like how many people here like work central bank? A lot of them have spouses in the countries where they're from. They moved here for work. So some of them come with their spouses, some of them don't. So like there are lots of, I think, examples of people in long distance relationships, and not just non-married relationships, married ones as well. Because I think people also think that like once you get married, that has to change, or for you to be in a successful marriage, that you have to be together. But one of the things, and I connected, it with long distance relationship, was even people who are married who spend a lot of time apart. Like they live, sleep divorce. Yeah, so sleep divorce is the thing where couples sleep in different beds or different rooms. Yeah, and that happens for different reasons. The person does snore. They toss and turn a lot.
But they're still together.
They're still together.
Okay.
Yeah. They have other sleep disturbances, and the other person's sleep is interrupted a lot. And some couples find that their relationship improves when they get that sleep divorce. Some people have been sleep divorced for decades, and their relationships have never been better, right? Because it's like even when you're in a long distance relationship and the person, like y'all meet up, there's the idea of what it will be like when you meet up. There's the reality of it. Cause you've been sleeping 6 months in this bed by yourself. All of a sudden there's somebody else. The person body hot.
Get a bigger bed.
The what?
Get a bigger bed.
Everybody can't do that. Some people still have a twin bed and have a partner.
Okay, but that's fine.
A full-size bed and have a partner in it. But some have a twin bed, like especially if you're in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's different. That's why I took the thrill of it.
The thrill.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I mean, some people are able when they meet to like take off work and stuff. But for some people, life goes on as normal. So yes, you're here now and we love each other and I'm so happy you're here. Cuddle. But I gotta wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to go work. So especially, and if the person is there for 2 weeks, can you afford that sleep deprivation, sleep effect for 2 weeks?
I see. I kind of always imagine myself like having my own house.
Separate from your partner?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they won't be allowed to come and sleep by me, but I think like when I think about creating like what my dream home would be like, I really and truly don't imagine like maybe like rooms for what the other partner would want. And I think I kind of very why like that, what a word is, like I like isolation. So I know like I would need my own space, like my own closet, my own bathroom. I mean, maybe I could still have somebody there, but since I heard like Oprah has her, is Oprah? I think so.
Maybe, probably, possibly. I'm
like
not
she
sure.
has her own house. I was like, that makes sense. But
Yeah. I sense some maybe hesitation in you to share that. Is it because people gonna be like, what? Well, one, people might be like, well, what she want to get married or have a partner for, if that's the, where's the, yeah, I'm feeling some,
Not necessarily hesitation, because I mean my mind could change.
yeah,
But I'm just saying, like, that's something I always kind of fantasize about, like just having my own space, like just being able to wake up, go about my day and just knowing that someone's not gonna be in my space,
yeah,
messing it up. Yeah.
okay. I think that's a fine idea. Like, I think knowing what you want and what will work for you, what will help you to be the best you can be, is what everybody should choose in their relationships. Even like one of the pros of long distance relationship, they say, is that it can help to foster greater independence, personal growth. That is good for people who are introverted, because you don't have, the other person, and you also, especially if, I think, if you are somebody who knows they can be consumed by a relationship, and like you become an appendage to the other person as opposed to being your own self and doing your own things and pursuing your own interests. Some of those folks have found long distance relationships help to prevent that kind of those kinds of relationship
Maybe
dynamics.
I need to look into long distance relationships.
Yeah, I mean, it would, yeah, and you find somebody who is also into long distance relationships. Otherwise,
I think find like long
every
distance
week.
relationships. Well, how do you find yours? Well, I mean, I guess it could.
Wait, when you're dating somebody, the questions come up. Are you?
No,
well,
but I'm like, are there people who intentionally seek out long distance relationships?
I don't know if, like, on the dating profiles there will be like long distance relationships only, but there could be people who, like, maybe like your friend. I don't want to presume or assume, whatever the word is. The fact that they met their partner online and maybe nobody ever initially or ever was like, so when we moving or whatever, means that those people are okay with long distance relationship. If you meet somebody who is established or establishing themselves in whatever other country they are, and they meet you, you are established or establishing yourself in whatever country you are in, you could kind of, I think, get a sense if that is the page that they're on, or if they're trying to move, or if they're trying for you to move. So I think it's also like which stage you are at in life. Because if you are looking for employment and you're not particularly tied to a place, you might be open to going to where the person is. But if you're at the top of your game in whatever field you are, in the job that you have, is it likely, and you just got it, is it likely that you're going to give that up, start over somewhere? So I think it also, depends on where you are in life. And it's a conversation. If you meet people online especially, that might be a good place to find people who are into long distance relationships. You could put out a call. They used to put ads in the newspaper. Let's bring it back.
Really, like 30-year-olds
Seeking whoever interested in long distance relationship. And the newspapers are online now, so you don't have to worry about people only seeing it here. Because that's not what you want.
okay, let me not trail off for sticking on topic.
No,
it's
go ahead.
gonna be like, I don't think like people put themselves out there, like, And I think, you know, you and I had a conversation like where I was asking you if people would be open to like singles, mixers, and speed dating. I know they had one last year, but at the time I was in a relationship.
It wasn't interesting to you.
Like, it was interesting.
I'll catch you the next one.
You know, I think like we need to put out, you know, more intentional. But I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking like with a Caribbean or St. Kitts mindset, people gonna be like, "Oh, you can't find a man. You can't find a man." Like, but I feel like dating in my demographic, it's hard. It's hard to find single people. They already snatched up. They already had their Yui love stories.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Have you ever seen a Yui proposal?
No.
I've seen one. Well, go ahead. Sorry, that's not what we're talking about.
But, you know, I it's little things like that.
Yeah, I hear you completely, and it's a feeling that other people share as well. Like your age group, my age group, people are having a hard time in the dating space, and not even just here. So I don't know if it's global, but it's not just.
I mean, we can meet people, but I think like
They say our population is too small. That's why
it's
they're
like
bringing
most
in the people for the
It's
US.
like I'll hook up with you, but do I want to be in a relationship with you? That's
Finding long-term, serious partners. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think people also experience people presenting as being interested in seriously dating, but they really weren't interested in hooking up. So like there's a lot of mismatch and misrepresentation, dishonesty in the dating space as well. So I think that something like that, I don't know if we have enough people here on St. Kitts for that, because I don't know, but I kind of feel like, not me, I'm not really looking, but like when I meet somebody my age whom I've never met before, I'm always very surprised, because I assume I know almost everybody, you know, in my age group, especially if you went to CFBC, because that would have exposed you to people from other schools.
Right.
So I think that we'll have to make it a little wider, which then would mean that some people might have to be open to long distance relationships, like at least the OECS. So, and then thinking ahead, can get Caribbean Airlines, Liat, Sunrise, all of them on board to help to facilitate short distance Caribbean relationships. I think they are a big reason that more of them don't exist and people don't get to see each other as often as they want to. Because
I saw this. I keep coming up on Instagram where like into Caribbean, they're going to be starting flights from Puerto Rico to St. Kitts, and they're saying they're starting it as like $89, but then when I went and checked, it's actually more. Yeah. So false advertisement. But I'm like, if it really was
that right?
I'm like, I could see myself just picking up and going to
because you could like and gonna require a lot it's easier to manage at $89, you know, if you're in the position financially than it is to manage, or more people would be able to manage at $89 than at $400. Cause Antigua, it'll be like minimum like 230 US is what I was paying like some time ago. And 2 flights to Antigua, they don't even let you stand up. You can't go bathroom. You don't take off your seatbelt because the flight is so short. Yeah. So it's like you drop sleep. you can't even sleep good, and you're already in Antigua. But the cost. So whereas I would love to go every weekend, every other weekend, you just can't. So
who do we lobby this?
They are a huge barrier.
Do we
to
take this to the government, to the
intra-regional, intra-regional love stories.
Right.
They're blocking our blessings.
Right. Exactly. So we need to do something about
Yeah. Death to capitalism.
Oh yeah, I realized because you sorry, I keep forgetting that you actually
Sorry, I'm like personally affected by this. Yeah. Yeah. Cause then like when you go to make it worth it, you have to stay a good while, which means you have to take vacation from work. Like if you're working remotely, your job gonna miss you for that long period of time. Cause it's hard to spend 200 US and just go for a weekend.
Right.
Especially on a regular weekend. Even if it's not a regular weekend, if things are happening, that's just more money to spend. And if you have to pay for accommodation, that's additional funds. So, yeah, we need to find a way to create a love building long distance relationship conducive flight environment with prices that facilitate connection.
Yes. I
That's what they need to be facilitating connections, facilitating love stories.
And I don't know if it has already started, but I know around the time like when Love Island was advertising, I saw like they had a casting call for one, not the Love Island. I figure it's some maybe
the one in
Caribbean,
Antigua?
maybe it's that one, that they wanted to do something similar, and they were inviting people from different islands. But I'm like, although yes, you would be meeting people who open to the idea of love and all this thing, it's like at the end of the day when you go home, you're gonna be in a long distance relationship. And I wonder like if they really understand. I mean, maybe they're just going on it to be on TV. I don't know, but I mean, if you're genuinely going to find love, you have to go there to know that whoever you find, you're going to be in a long distance relationship. And then you're going to have to make the decision, hey, does this connection who I met for, how much weeks of filming worth it to pursue? I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good point. And I think same with Love is Blind too, because we have seen, you watch Love is Blind, right?
Yeah.
We have seen Love is Blind relationships where after they left the pods and, we're no longer in the short stint together, they were
in long distance
relationships, and it was like who's gonna move? Sometimes like because the US is so big, you're in the same state but you're still hours away from each other, so it is something like definitely worth considering, like whether what you're signing up for, like you're okay with whatever outcome it might be, and not that you go there meeting people from other islands and then being like, men doing this, because then it's like yeah, and that's the mismatched expectations and mismatched plans, right? Yeah. So we've talked about our votes on long distance, whether we are yes or no to long distance.
It's a yes for me. So if anybody wants to reach out, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook.
Anybody listening wherever they are.
Wherever you
what
are.
about somebody in a different time zone? Because long distance itself is one thing, but
touch on that. Yikes. I could do a lot of things, but I think the difference in the time zone, that probably gonna be
your deal breaker.
Because consider like a 12-hour. That is, because when it's like that person is living in tomorrow and you literally like that, it's a lot. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
Just because you're trying to go about your day, it's already difficult to match up your schedule with somebody who is in the same time zone. Imagine doing that with someone who is living in a different time zone. And whether it be 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, that's a good bit. So.
Yeah. Or more, I think. I think there are time zones where it's more. May not.
But
I don't do geography.
But
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I think even when, because there have been times when I'm in like the UK, which is 5 hours ahead. And even that is hard because when it's 10 o'clock, you know, so you're halfway through your morning, it's 5 o'clock where they be. Like, they ain't even wake up yet.
Right.
By the time it's time for you to go to sleep, they're saying, yeah, just leaving work or wherever it is, right? So that adds another layer
Right.
of complexity, another challenge to a long distance relationship, which still can be overcome if people want to, because look at all the students who have gone to Taiwan. They're from here. They might have relationships here. How do they maintain them? I don't know if they do. I just saying they might. But like, we have like those obvious connections to other parts of the world. We have people who have family in way different time zones. How do they maintain those connections? That's
Just stay updated in the family.
so when they're in there telling you what's going on in your day, you see it 12 hours later because that's when you wake up and they're like, hey, are you still at the supermarket? Because I wanted you to get something for me, but they don't move on. So, forget it. Yeah.
But we didn't talk about sex in long distance relationships.
Because sex isn't all that matters in relationship.
No, but you said.
Oh, the topic is sex and because all of the topics are sex and.
But
okay,
I mean, just
sex.
a short
Yeah.
note, just a
Give
short
us.
note. I imagine that this is where technology is
Yeah.
going to come into play. and-
Remote controlled sex toys.
Oh, well,
Oh,
you're
that's
going
not where you were going.
far.
Okay, go ahead. Continue. Finish.
Well, you know, that does actually work.
They can.
So, like, the person will put the app on their phone.
Yeah, they can.
So,
Like, everything is evolving now, I think, to make it easier for people to create connections and stay connected in different ways, especially post-COVID. 'Cause I remember, I think COVID, like, spurred a lot of this because even people who were in no distance relationships could also not see each other and meet up, right? So like everybody had to learn how to be in a kind of no contact relationship. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So, for the people out there who don't understand, there are sex toys now that
Yeah.
are controlled through apps. So, that is how the partner, I guess, could, interact with that person. And
Yeah.
they come in all different shapes and sizes and forms.
If you want, so there's that kind of sex that you can have. There's also video sex. There's phone sex, tried and true. And so there's phone sex, there's video calling, like y'all can schedule times to masturbate to each other on camera. People that be sending people videos, just a little sexy thing while you're at work for later when we do this on the phone in a fuller kind of way. So you also have those options available to you. You have what happens when you meet up, right? Like if you do meet up, because some couples have never like met physically in person, but that isn't by default an indication of the couple's closeness.
Right.
And I could see, long distance relationships working for couples who especially ain't even really that much into physical intimacy in sexual resort, into like physical intercourse or just in-person sex, right? So it could work for them. I would definitely say that while sex is an important part of relationships for some people, more important than others, sex isn't the only thing that we have to get that closeness and that connection with our partner. So sometimes, like when you and the long distance couple meets up, it might be like, we have to stay inside and have sex to make up for all the time that we were apart. We had to have sex for the next 6 months. Like enough sex for the next 6 months. Does that really happen?
Probably not.
No, it doesn't.
Because I would imagine, like, y'all would be so used to just talking, like...
Yeah. Like, you know, the thing that I'd especially treasure when we get together? Talking about the same things that I was talking about, but in person.
So no, they could experience
no, I could...
Yeah.
So, you know, all the excitement. It is hugging the person. It is holding hands. It is going to the person while they're in the bathroom to be like, blah, 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 blah. It is not having to deal with internet connections, Wi-Fi connections that are failing, driving past Ross and the car dropping down. Like, it is just, let's do the same things that we do online, but in person. So, I know. So it's like, sometimes, you know, there is more physical intimacy and all of those things, but sometimes it's really just, I get to, instead of, because sometimes, like, you know, the creativity that's required for long distance relationships, you might decide to schedule a movie night. Where you watch the movie over there, I watch the movie. You remember Netflix had this Netflix party for a little while, so you could have watched Netflix with 3 other friends
at the same time.
Yeah, at most. And so, like, if one person paused it, it paused it everybody. So you didn't have to tell them play and pause. I'm coming back. It would just happen. So we have done that, you know, like watch things at the same time.
So they no longer have this?
No, and it didn't. I don't think it went on for. I don't think so, and I don't think it went on for very long. I could be wrong, but no, we get to watch the thing.
Maybe some you have to pay for.
I don't know.
They have tiers.
Maybe.
Now. Okay,
well, you know, I could have looked it up, but no, there's something. No, we could watch the things together in person, and me and had to say pause so I could share my reflections on the thing. I could just say, let me see, telepathy. It seemed like it changed to something else. So I ain't Netflix watch party anymore. So yeah, 9:02. We are at the end of the show as usual. Do you have any final thoughts about long distance relationships?
No, I mean, I think if you find yourself in a situation like that, don't write it off. You know, just be open to it, but just know that it's going to require a lot of work. I know you might have like a lot of people who are prepping now to go to UE and probably wondering how they're gonna, well, we say UE, but maybe you're just going off to college or university and wondering, how am I gonna make this relationship work? I don't think it would, but I mean,
statistically,
and maybe your
brain
is not fully developed.
But it might.
But it might. So, yeah.
Yeah. And
but my brain is fully developed, and I'm not.
So you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
If you want to slide in my DM. Yeah.
Wherever you are in the world, except if you are on a different time zone. A few hours.
Let's not. Okay.
But
I think 12 hours, that's a bit much.
Okay. But like up to 5 hours you could manage. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to say it's important if you are in a long distance relationship or open to long distance relationship for everybody involved to be on the same page. And that has to do with something like whether you are temporarily long distance, as in, okay, we just long distance for now while you doing this or while you doing that or whatever, but we plan eventually to be in the same space, or whether you want to permanently be long distance, because that is also an option for you. One of the benefits that I found that I can attest to of long distance relationship is the expanded community connections. Because when you're in a long distance relationship, you find you get to find a community in those other places. So I have quite a few good Antiguan friends now. Like, I could go there and I could hang out with them more if I want to. I don't, but I'm just saying, you know.
That's cool because in a way you kind of, let's say, if you were to make the decision to move here,
you already have people.
Right.
You already kind of know your way around, but especially they already having people, because whoever moves will be leaving, especially if they're leaving from where they are from or where they have lived for a while and found community. They're leaving that community and those people physically behind. So it would be really beneficial if you can have a community to go to that loves and cares for you. So I'm not gonna say like I'm an advocate for long distance relationship. Man, like, be in a long distance relationship, right? But I'm okay with long distance relationships. I find they work for me. And I find, as you said too, like, they work for a lot more people than we know. So we want to hear from some more of you. Are you in a long distance relationship?
I remember someone telling me, like, their mom is married, but like their stepdad lives in a whole different country, and I'm like, so all this time,
people do it.
Yeah,
people do it. It happens. It happens all the time.
So yeah, we're pro long distance relationships.
Yeah, we're definitely not anti it. But if you are anti it, that's okay. Find somebody who is anti it as well. Don't suffer. Thank you so much for tuning in to Pleasure Pulse. We had an interesting conversation, I believe, about long distance relationship, that even though it kind of, had different directions at different points, like, we were able to cover most of the things, all of the things that I wanted us to talk about tonight. And I hope that it has given you some food for thought, some comfort that if you're in a long distance relationship, you're not the anomaly or anything like that, and some thoughts about maybe being open if you are, to long distance relationships. And remember, Deloma said she is open. There are other people who are open as well, so check them out. Okay, I'm going to wish you a pleasurable evening here and say good night. Bye.
Hey, guess what? It's Radio Market.
Call in and sell your merchandise. You can negotiate, give and trade.
We on radio, internet, and TV.